Welcome to Magnet Gaming, and we're going to take a look at Hugo's House of Horrors. This is another Gray Design Associates game, designed by David Gray, part of the Hugo series, just like Nightmare 3D. This is where it all originated, released in North America in 1990. It's an adventure/horror game. It's a parser-based adventure game, which is similar to some of the classic games like King's Quest. This game features a lot of comedic elements. It's designed to be fairly light-hearted. You control the protagonist Hugo, and where you have to go to a haunted house to look for his girlfriend Penelope, who hasn't been seen since she went to babysit there. Just sort of similar to Maniac Mansion. Now, according to what I'm reading on Wikipedia, David Gray claimed he never actually played Maniac Mansion and was only aware of the similarities to the game after the game was released. His actual inspiration was the original Sierra game, Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards. A game that I'll get to at some point in time eventually, assuming I go through all the games in my collection. The thing I always hate about covering the David Gray games, which I guess I've only covered one, is this is essentially a one-man project. And I'm not going to give it extra points for being a one-man project, but this is a one-man project from 1990 that's going on a list that has such games as Knights of the Old Republic, Half-Life. You have two of the Dark Forces Jedi Knight series games on there. You have Azeron's Call. A lot of classic games on there. You have a Call of Duty game on there. And this game obviously isn't going to rate all that well against the entirety of games published for a variety of platforms. That being said, just because it's a one-man project doesn't mean it isn't going to be fun, well-produced, and as such can rate fairly well on the list nonetheless. So let's see if the one-man underdog project of David Gray, Hugo's House of Horrors, let's see if it can knock out some of the competition. Alright, so you start here. You control his movement with arrow keys. He does kind of just skate around and start here. You're not given a lot of information. You really do have to be semi-familiar with the adventure game genre, especially the parser-based adventure game genre, to really succeed in this game. Meg actually had this game as a kid, and it took her quite a while to figure out that you have to open the pumpkin here. Isn't that what you'd think? Not open the door. The door is locked. Open pumpkin. Get key. And door. It does have some quirky things where you'll think you're close enough to something. Oh, you have to walk up. Open door. Unlock door. It is a fairly well done parser, though. It does understand at least the commands that I think of first about 95% of the time. So you go inside. This game, if you know what you're doing, can be ran in about, you can get finished with it in about, you could finish it in 45 minutes to an hour if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, though, it could take a few hours, or even longer if you get stuck on something. So you have a variety of stuff to explore. The graphics aren't that good by any means. They're actually quite ugly, but they're ugly in such a way where they do have some charm in their ugliness. I actually kind of like them. This song is also quite well done too. Okay. Okay, here's where you're supposed to tell him to... Trying to think of... Okay, I think I'm supposed to be... Am I supposed to be small? Let's see. Look. Look at table. Get bung. Yo. Come on. Oh, I see. I have to be taller. Oh, wait. Now I'm thinking. Get bung. Now go back in there. Try to tell me it's quirks. It is. It does play quite. Okay, let's go back there. There's a certain press. Tell Igor. I think I'm supposed to tell. So, yeah, I'm supposed to tell Igor yellow. Okay. I actually forget what... Here I am saying that the commands that you issue are rather intuitive, yet I am failing to do the right one, so we're going to do the cop out, and we are going to... We're actually going to go look up the walkthrough. So as far as the controls go, they're very basic. It's just for moving around. Sometimes you get caught on objects, but you usually uncatch yourself. I've never had the game crash. And once you learn what the parser commands are, it's not that difficult of a game as far as just general controls. However, figuring out some of the puzzles in the game really do require quite a bit of thought and also some foresight. You never know what you might need, so grab everything that you find, and then if you come into a room with something, like let's say you find a piece of meat and you find a scary dog in a room, think through that and say, well, maybe I should feed the dog to distract him, to get around him. So, okay, looks like I'm... Look table, okay. Tell Igor to press red button. That's the thing, he doesn't know the right buttons. Now he can't balance. How cute. Tell Igor to press yellow button. And now I am back to normal. So yeah, I'm not going to go any farther than this. It's a rather short game. You end up going downstairs into the caverns. The graphics are very primitive, but do have quite a bit of charm to them. There's a point where you have to answer some questions. For example, who invented Count Dracula? Where did Aslan live? Etc. Eventually you need to give a gold coin to a guard to release Penelope at the end of the game. But there's a lot of stuff in between that. It's quite a fun game for being as short as it is. but it's definitely not the most impressive thing I've ever played. The music is just PC speaker music, but oddly enough, the simple little riff that plays fits the game quite well. Alright, so in the end, where does Hugo's House of Horrors stand on our list? I actually think it's quite a fun game. There's quite a bit to it. But it is short. But I think its charm, the creative characters in there, kind of the mishmash of stuff, the graphics, and also the fact that it's a one-man project. If you enjoy adventure games that are parser-based, this will be a quick little game you can play in the afternoon. Enjoy yourself and then set it down. I'm going to put it in the B- range, and I'm going to put it, let's see, I'm going to put it right below World of Padman, right above Kirby's Superstar. I did enjoy this more than Kirby's Superstar, even though that game is regarded by many to be a top tier game. But I really did enjoy my time here. I think it's a better overall constructed game than Nightmare 3D. It didn't have any bugs, didn't crash. Story, albeit simplistic, was just goofy enough to, and it was also just enough to set the tone for sequels where you could get to know the characters a bit more. For having the coder also be the writer and also the graphic designer, and possibly, I'm not sure if he made the music or not. I know in some other games he did outsource that. But for somebody to take on all those roles, this is quite an impressive game. And if you're wanting to actually pick up a copy, you can pick up the whole series on GOG. And on GOG, the whole trilogy of games is, pulling up the price, $5.99. That's 3 games for $5.99, or you can buy it straight from Gray Design Associates website. All 3 games take about 23 megs of hard drive space. It's quite a bit of fun, and even though it's not the most impressive game of all time, and even though the parser can be a bit frustrating, interesting story, interesting characters, the odd, ugly, but charming in a way graphical style, all helps create a fun, albeit short, experience. Now I'm putting in the B- category, and please like, subscribe, and have a great day.